And there's male and female there, because you can see some have got breasts, some haven't. And when the Aboriginals draw people or spirits, if you've got big bits, you're really important. They've got headdresses on, they've got skirts, they've got... And basically, so what we've got here is that to happen, and they would celebrate them yearly, 2 yearly or whatever. So there's a big celebration on here, but now flex on their breasts. And that's the Aboriginal way. Now the fish, if you look at those fish, they're in what we call the X-ray style. You can see that because they've got fish in this drawing. Well, fish come from freshwater, so we're in the freshwater period. Freshwater period is from 2000 up to present. The X-ray style of painting only came in about 1,000 years ago. It's because through this area we get amazing lightning and thunder happening. In the wet season, this place shakes. Remember, things have changed here. This is their defence mechanism. If they get caught, they'll just flick away, or before she gets to them. And they'll cut all the way around it, and it will drop away on their bungee cord, and then they'll eat it. Crafty little things, aren't they?
Risky business though.
Well, it is, but then that's right.
Tenacious.
Amazing, how they get to all these places. But basically, all along here, it's just like a big gutter. And as soon as the storm's gone through, the sun comes out. You've done this with a guy, with an Aboriginal guy, and you have to have 2 people, and you're working hard for about 30 minutes. And I'll tell you now, you're absolutely lathered in sweat, just to try and get enough heat to make a fire. It might take longer if the wood's a bit damper, and they carry that with them. So the next place, a bit of dry grass, a bit of blowing. Now if you spot a crop, shout out, and I'll stop and we can get out and go and have a look on the bridge. I just can't stop on the bridge, that's all. So in 3 months' time, there won't be a drop of water here. Good barra fishing here at the moment. It's all the lures that get snagged on the trees.
right up on the top of the paper bark, so we're very close to it. So at the moment about 2 o'clock, right hand side.
Just in front of them.
This spectacular eagle is Australia's second largest bird of prey. So the wedge-tailed eagle, bigger with a wingspan of around 2.5 metres, but this eagle, about 2 metres wingspan. Water birds, snakes, turtles, they've got eyesight about 9 times better than ours, so very clearly they can see fish splashing near the surface, swimming too close to the top, and the eagle ready to swoop in. This is a hunting perch for him, so they'll sometimes circle in the sky or sit on these branches where they've got a clear view over the water. The local Aboriginal people can chew on that, but cockatoos love to feed on that. For the next couple of minutes we'll be cruising through, very good chance of needing to just lean into the middle of the boat if there's any branches coming close to you. Bit of a hair-raising run through here. Through this part of the river, we're seeing a lot of the paperbark trees out off the front. The left side particularly, the tall trees with the very light coloured trunks. They're weeping paperbarks. It's one of our main Melaleuca species out here. And these trees very well adapted for living in water. You can see the large sheets of bark peeling away from the trunk. So that's totally waterproof. It's allowing these trees to live here where it's a very wet environment. More narrow section.
I'd like to see Kakadu run across those water lilies. So we might.
Creamy flowers, that's the broadleaf paperbark. These paperbark trees are really important sources of nectar for lorikeets and honeyeaters, fruit bats as well, the flying foxes, and our native bees. No sting, coming out, feeding on the nectar, and making their beehives in the hollow branches of the paperbark trees. Buffalo grass can live in the water, it can lift up its roots and float on the surface like a raft. Don't crash into it at this time of year, so it's certainly not recommended to go walking around on that walkway there at the moment. That it is filling up the channels of the river, and most people are coming here at a time when the channel there is too shallow or dry, so they're starting the cruise from just across to the right. That's our dry season pontoon. One of our boats in storage, not really needed at the moment because it's our quieter time of year. Now getting a chance to grow because the buffalo grass isn't covering them. So good areas where the fires went through, good areas for food for the binning people.
Looks great.
Eating the water lilies, also the birds and the animals that they can hunt that come in to feed on that as well. So the burning was a way of farming the floodplain, making sure they get as much food as they can. Or snake-neck bird.
Yes, it is.
Can't see much of the bird there at the moment, it's tucked into its nest. This is a male, a little bit of its back. It's actually got his nose resting like a pillow on that branch of the pandanus. Oh.
There he goes. Go on. He says, I don't want him to see you.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now we are in fresh water, but this is a saltwater crocodile. So we're 100 kilometres up from the coastline. There's no tidal influence at all, it's all fresh water, but that's a saltwater or estuarine crocodile. So don't let the name mislead you. They can happily live in the fresh water right through their lives. They breed here. There's heaps of food for them. The length of the head times 7, you'll get the overall length. Just hoping we'll move away of it. We estimate the ages of crocodiles because they do grow at different rates. because females stop growing at around 3 metres. They're really growing quite slowly at this size. So if it's a female, she might be 30 or 40 years old. If it's a male, he might only be 9 or 10. So it can be a really big difference of crocodiles of the same size, different ages. It's still sitting there, I can still see its head just peering at us up through the water. Crocodiles have got 3 eyelids, so they've got a clear one, like the top and the bottom like us. Bedrooms in a nest like that, but they only lay 2 eggs, the sea eagles, usually in about April or May. And very quickly, the first egg will hatch and kill the second hatchling. So usually just one young sandy banks, and coming up here for our dry season. So we're just really starting to see good numbers of them coming back. Gorgeous colours, particularly when they fly. We see the brightest colours, and they're watching out for insects. They're looking for the dragonflies, and when they spot them, they swoop in, they catch them from the air. They'll often land back on a branch that they were sitting on and beat that insect to death. A little dead tree, a dollar bird, just a young one. So there's some migratory species again. They move from Papua New Guinea. The parents come across and they nest in hollow trees, and once the young ones are old enough to look after themselves, like this, hunting insects, the parents have headed back to PNG from the south of Kakadu, and we're heading across the floodplain. So a lot of this area, as we drive across, will totally dry out as the year goes on, the water drops down. The stalk of that Nymphia lily is edible. Tastes like celery. You can chew on that. You can drink through it like a straw, which filters muddy water, so a good one for drinking from. Also eating the roots. So it is hard to believe, but all dried out through that area there in the dry season, right out across that plain, fires burning across. That protective bark that allows them to live in water also protects the melaleuca trees in the fires. Down right through Southeast Asia and India, China. It's also native here in Northern Australia. We will probably be able to track down a flower or two. I can see one. Lotus lily has waterproof leaves. You can see on the surface there the way the water just beads up. It's all silvery, but over and it dies away. It just has to shoot back up. Aerial roots that grow out of the trunk of the tree, and that continues the gas exchange for these trees when the water level is covering their base. They're a good hunter. They're after frogs and insects. They look for birds' nests. They're raiding the eggs and the chicks. So just about every single tree out here, you have one of the trunks, one of the branches. The jacanas are nesting out here at the moment. They're finding these little patches of floating. Coming back from the right, look at that.
Oh, beautiful. And it's not bad, is it?
Look at the wingspan. A couple of flaps with that.
He's going to land.
Maybe not.
Oh, that was
Thank you, thanks for that. Remain fully seated until I have come right down the front and tied us up. That would be great.